Hey, what's going on, y'all? Puberty. What's going on, y'all? It's Papa Bear here. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Epic Adventures. So, today I got some exciting news. Okay, this channel, are now starting a Twitter account, and we've started a Facebook forum. Now, all the information in regards to all the social media that we interact with will be down below. Currently now we have a Pinterest and we have an Instagram. And so with the Twitter and with the Facebook, I find it very interesting, and I think it'd be great for us to also expand my means of communicating with my subscribers and possible new subscribers and people. Now, real quick, I want to say this. Thank you to all of our fans. Thank you to all of our subscribers. We have 550 plus people. That's a lot for us. Doing YouTube is not a full-time job, although sometimes it feels like it's a full-time job. It's not a full-time job. And so we are excited that 550 people think that we're interested enough. You guys are crazy enough to deal with us, and that's great. You know, I never thought in a million years that this would be the pinnacle of the channel for now. And I'm looking for it to grow even more as we get stronger, we get more knowledgeable, and as we figure out the analytics, that way YouTube will stop messing around and show our videos a lot more. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's been a blessing. So the Facebook forum, I want to dive into that real quick because I want to make sure that there's no misunderstanding about where this forum is going. As you guys know, I'm African American. There's not a lot of people of color out here doing this. That is showing what I go through as an African American man. Now, a lot of you may think that there's no difference, that a Caucasian person and a black man can go out and do the same thing and show the same thing, and there's no different experience. You're probably right. And at the same time, you're probably wrong. There are some slight differences. There is some slight perception in how I may view things as a black man to how a white man may view things. And that's okay. I'm not here to fault somebody for that, because we all grew up differently. And that's okay. I grew up outside of DC, urban community. You know what I'm saying? Some of the people that I deal with at work, they grew up in a straight country, but they have excellent outdoors experience. With my family, we weren't outdoors people. I mean, yeah, we went outside and played the park, you know, we rode our bikes and things of that nature, but we weren't out there fishing. We weren't out there hunting. And we damn sure weren't out there camping. And so when I say that I'm unique when it comes to my family, I am very unique. And trying to get into all these activities, number one, was very expensive. And number two, it was frustrating because who do I go to learn this information from? Well, I went on Facebook. I went on YouTube. You know, I went to different medias. And then because my job is so diverse, you know, I went to a lot of people at my job and I asked them questions. But I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. To all my white Caucasian counterparts out there. Not every black person feel comfortable coming to you to ask you questions. One, we don't want to look stupid. Two, it's the stereotypism, you know what I'm saying, that I've always said this, a black man shouldn't be outdoors. Some may think that's old school ideology thinking. Me, on the other hand, I think that every race has the right to be outdoors. We all have had a connection with nature at one point in time. It's not exclusive to one race over another. And knowing this, because I was in the same position when I was trying to figure out where do I go to learn about how to set up a tarp, or what type of sleeping bag should I get, or what type of tent should I get. You know, I was in the same boat. But because I work in a diverse setting when it comes to my day-to-day life, it was a little bit easier for me to reach out to my white counterparts and ask them questions. But it may not be easy for everyone else that's African American. And so the forum, this is why I say this, the forum is centered around Black, Indigenous people of color. Now, when I say this, I'm not saying that my white counterparts, my white subscribers, my Indian subscribers, my whatever. I'm not saying that if you're not Black, you can't come. No, this forum is open for everybody. In my story, I explained to you, I had to go to my white counterparts to learn a couple things. To this day, I still go to my white counterparts to learn a couple things. The person that really helped me get into backpacking, his name is Tony. We worked together. He's now retired. And he was an avid backpacker, cyclist, runner. Honestly, I think he's an endurance athlete. He doesn't realize it. Because he's in the rock climbing. You know what I'm saying? And I learned a lot from him. The means that we communicate and how you explain, the R value of a sleeping pad, or you have the external be turned to internal backpack. That was paramount. But let me ask you this question. If I didn't open myself up to him, despite the race, would I have learned this? And the answer is no. So when I say this channel is open, this forum is open to everybody, I mean it. It is open to everybody. We're not exclusive, folks. No, the group is private because it's a way of me controlling certain things that don't happen in a group, like race baiting or race bashing, political bashing, things of that nature. I have a series of rules that are on the forum. But I think that by moving in this direction, the backpacking community can grow exponentially. Can grow. And I say this because the Appalachian Trail Conservatory has realized this. If we don't come together as people, as a human race, not a white, Black, Asian race, but a human race, we will lose our trail systems. We will lose traditions. We will lose our way to nature. And so that's why I created this forum, to have a place, a safe place for people of color to come in and communicate among ourselves. And at the same time, take a little ideology of Martin Luther King and break down the walls of stereotypism, to where if a Black person wants to communicate with a white person, no matter what, or I'll take it a step further. If a straight guy wants to talk to a gay person, no matter what, they're going to communicate on levels. What better way to bridge the gap between our racial, sexual, economic divide than to create this forum? And I feel that I am a perfect candidate for it because for the last 4 years, actually longer than that, but in regards to backpacking, the last 4 years, I've had to do it. I've had to do it to get to this point. I've had to do it to communicate with my subscribers. I've had to do it to show other people of color that you can do this. You can do this. One more quick story. If you guys don't understand why I started this forum and why I'm going in direction for this channel. Currently, there is a young lady, African American, that is interested in doing the Appalachian Trail next year. And she made a couple of posts on a couple of Facebook forums. She also wrote an article, which was picked up by the track and which was also picked up by the Appalachian Trail Conservatory. And it was the article is, I think, Not Another Hiker or something of the nature. I'll make sure I put that down below, what the article name is. And she was talking about her perspective as being an African-American female on trail and her fears. And the perspective part, I'm cool with, because I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. But the fear, I want you guys to understand something. And this is something I'm going to promote on my forum, hardcore. I'm not worried about the economic divide. I'm not worried about the system right now. Follow me on this. What I'm worried about is the fear and hatred.
Ignorance breeds fear. We fear those things we do not understand. If we do not keep that fear in check, that fear in turn will breed hatred, because we hate those things that frighten us. If we do not keep that hatred in check, that hatred in turn will breed destruction.
Fear and hatred is the reason why the system was built a long time ago for me to not to be where I am today. Fear and hatred. Tell me one thing that hatred has solved. Nothing. But I can tell you what hatred has caused. We all can. And realizing this, because I had to sit back and think for a minute, I was like, wait a minute. I know the answers to what you're seeking. Wait a minute. I've been there before, so I can tell you exactly things to be concerned with. You know? So I reached out and I spoke to her. And to this day, we're still talking. And be honest with you, I've been mentoring her. She had zero experience about the trail. She didn't have any gear. She didn't know like where to begin. You know, she's like, well, I gotta buy a thermal rest. You know, that's the thing to buy. I don't have a thermal rest. I have a Climate. And it works perfectly good. You know what I'm saying? Well, I gotta have this ULA. No, you don't. You don't have to have this ULA. You don't have to have Hyperlight. You don't have to have Z-Packs. You know, I got this freaking monster of a beast behind me. Granted, it was a bad mistake. I ain't gonna lie, it was a bad mistake. But at the same time, I mean, hey, who knew? My ideology was a little different back then, but that's okay. Moving on. You know, I got the Osprey. Love it! Despite a couple things I said to it about the company, which I still got to do that video in regards to what the product manager sent back to me. I owe you guys that, okay? But when I sat down and spoke to her, I was giving her some tips, some tricks, things that I've learned from other people along the way, things I've learned on my own, you know? Without a forum like that, how many other people do you think are going to go through that same thought process where they think they have to buy the most expensive stuff? I get stuff that's functional for me, for my style. So the forum has been created. And I encourage everyone, and I mean everyone, do what I just did with that person. Mentor. Doesn't have to be all the time. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Sometimes I want my privacy. Sometimes I don't want to deal with people. But if someone shoots you a question, by all means, man, answer it. Help them like someone helped you, because we did not come out our mama's womb knowing every freaking thing. That is the truth. So I thank you guys for this moment. I hope that you guys understand where I'm coming from. In no way, shape, or form are YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter are exclusive to Black people only. I want to leave with that closing remarks. It's very inclusive to everybody.
That anger and that rage that you think will one day be unleashed upon white families, you've been waiting on it for 400 years. We're better people than that. I know what you heard. Thugs, animals, monsters. Nope. Better people than that. Not only can we do better, we want to do better. We are doing better. And you're free to join us.
But with that being said, look, if you guys have some comments about this video for better clarification, by all means, go down in the comment section below. I'm not looking for people to like. I'm not looking for people to subscribe because of this video. I'm looking for people to sit back and think within themselves and understand the hard truth of where I'm coming from. Okay? We're in this together. We're in this together. So why sit there and fake? And if you're a true outdoors person or a person that wants to be on the Appalachian Trail, the CDT, PCT, you know good as well as I know that when you get out there, whoever's around you is who you're going to forge a relationship with. So if I'm happen to be out there that time that you're out there, are you not going to forge a relationship with me? Especially when you get in trouble and you need assistance. I know I'll be there for you. How about you?